Wyoming senators evidently have no regard for the Constitution, trying to make a law that isn't judicially reviewable violates Article III of the U.S. Constitution. These backwards lawmakers Enzi and Cheney evidently need to read Article III. Elected officials that continually attempt to violate the U.S. Constitution should be barred from holding office. Wyoming U.S. Senator Mike Enzi and Congresswoman Liz Cheney, R-Wyo, introduced the Grizzly Bear State Management Act, which directs the Department of the Interior to reissue its delisting decision and prohibits further judicial review of this decision. Wyoming U.S. Senator Mike Enzi and Congresswoman Liz Cheney, R-Wyo, introduced the Grizzly Bear State Management Act, which directs the Department of the Interior to reissue its delisting decision and prohibits further judicial review of this decision. It's clear that under the Endangered Species Act, grizzly bears in the Yellowstone region are fully recovered, that they should be delisted and management returned to the states, Enzi said. I have been working on this issue for over 20 years, and we already knew back then that grizzly bears had already fully recovered. Unfortunately, we have seen environmental groups take advantage of the court system in the face of wildlife management experts and the science presented before us. Our legislation would finally right that wrong by once again delisting the bears and stopping further frivolous litigation on this issue. The first iteration of the bill, H.R. 6877, was introduced on September 25 during the previous session of Congress. The Grizzly Bear State Management Act stops the abuse of the court system by environmental extremists, safeguards the scientifically proven delisting determination, and puts management of the grizzly bear back in the hands of Wyoming, Cheney said. I'm pleased to reintroduce this bill and continue fighting for the important work done by the state of Wyoming to establish its own effective grizzly bear management plan. The decision by a federal district court judge in Montana to relist the grizzly ignores science and reinstates one-size-fits-all federal management. I look forward to continuing to work with my colleagues and with President Trump to fight for Wyoming's statutory right to manage wildlife. Background: in 2018, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, USFWS, determined that the grizzly bear population has rebounded from as few as 136 bears in 1975 to an estimated 700 today and meets all the criteria for delisting. USFWS biologists determined the grizzly bear currently exceeds the carrying capacity of the Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem and now occupies more than 22,500 square miles. Despite the USFWS determinations, a federal district court judge in Montana blocked the Department of the Interior's rule to delist the grizzly bear. On February 15, the Wyoming State Legislature adopted House Joint Resolution 0001, which requests congressional action to delist the grizzly bear in the Greater Yellowstone Ecosystem. On February 19, Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon signed HJ 0001. Source: Enzi, Cheney try again for griz delisting, Buckrail, Jackson Hole Local News.